show in the black corner of YouTube. I'm your host, the Whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black MINDZ News. Black MINDZ News is to report, articulate, transmit, communicate, insinuate, develop, investigate, unveil, decode, spread the news, whether it's by news, video, websites, or quotes from publications. As I articulate this information, I accept the creator of the universe, be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit, because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this place that we call the United States, we, the foundational black Americans, the bloodline, historical lineage, the historical people known as slaves, we who call ourselves BADOS, Black American descendant of slaves. Some say Black African descendant of slaves. Others say ADOS, American descendant of slaves. We, the today children, offspring, and present generation, we give honor to our ancestors. And you know what my motto of the show is? I'm never gonna tell you what I heard. I'm only gonna tell you what I know. Yeah, day 2 from the 60-day suspension. Day's date is September the 12th, 2019. Got some stories for you today. Go ahead and put it up on that screen as we get into this, right? So we're gonna go. There's a couple stories out there. Did you hear the one that was in Tallahassee, Florida? Brother was at work. Something went down. Man went off. People got hurt. We're gonna touch that one, right? Many of us can feel that, been there, but maybe we have not gone through the whole scenario to make it fruition. But we done been there. You understand? So anyway, we're going to talk about that. Did you hear also up in Philadelphia, where a police commissioner, then the council of the people, found out that the commissioner wore a shirt that went back in the 90s. Now, for those who've been around, remember the 90s, remember the whole situation when we first seen what social media is today. It was one of the first really the catalyst that started off with why people record everything that they see. Well, I ain't gonna get into it till we get to there, but again, it has reference to that and what transpired during that time and the big riots and everything that came on and the relations to that shirt she wore and her being a commissioner in a police department that has, let's say, under investigation, has been found to have some unscrupulous type of individuals, right? Well, the next story I got that we'll be talking about is, again, based on everybody went crazy with the Popeyes chicken, right? Some of you might have went and stood in that line, thought Mr. Blows Your Mind didn't catch it, but if you did, so what? Again, you was hungry, right? Did what you had to do. Again, was you all caught up in the craze? But the point is not so much about the Popeyes chicken. What I'm going to talk about is the fact that chicken in itself, after you hear today, you may put the chicken down. I'm going to say that again. After you hear what I'm going to say today on the article that I found that according that in Europe, they don't want it, you're going to say, do you need to be eating it? And find out what they say about chlorinated chicken. Another story, and last but not least, I got over there. I'm going to talk about, because again, there's a lot of people on here. Again, I'm going to be a mystery. I ain't even going to talk about that one. Right? I'm going to leave that to last and leave that as a mystery for those who stay to the end. So anyway, this is Black MINDZ News, and I'm your host, the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. And stay tuned as we get into this broadcast. Hey, how's y'all doing? Again, this is your host, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black MINDZ News. First and foremost, want to say what's good to my subscribers all here that should be here right now. I can't even tell because I can't even see whether they got anybody in here or not, right? It's not even showing me even being on live. I am offline. Now, wait a minute. See, they playing games with me, right? So let me take 1 second, y'all. Let me see what's going on here. Because, see, they playing games with me, right? They really don't want Mr. Blows Your Minds to do what I'm doing, right? So what I'm going to do before I get into all that, first and foremost, I want to say what's good to my fam, subscribers, old and new. What's good with y'all? Yeah, glad that you over here to check out this live show here. I think I'm live. I have to do something right quick because my whole thing just been kind of something not right this morning. And I'm just telling you, boy, if you don't believe I am the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube, the things that they do to try to keep a brother from actually doing what he do is ridiculous. It is very ridiculous that people who don't want what they put out here for us to be disseminating, talk about it. So it looks like I'm on. Right? I just want to make sure, again, because on from where I'm at, it's not showing that, y'all. So again, if you should be passing by, this is the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. Go down the aisle, see some things, because we always got a grand opening. May see something that make feel some kind of way. Remember that the motto of the show is, should be passing by, this is the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. Y'all can hear me in the background, so I go down the aisle, see something to see. I had to check and see, because on my screen here, it's showing me offline. Right? On my screen, it's showing offline, even though you heard in the background. Tell you, boy. So basically, what probably is, you got me live, but you got me offline so that nobody can come and see and hear. So what you're going to do is hear me first, and then you're going to put me out there. Ain't that something? Ain't that something, y'all? But everybody want to say that when we talking, we always making things up. Again, we only report what you put out there, right? We don't got no institutions and things like that. But you always worry about what we gonna say, ain't it, huh? Sad, boy, sad. But anyway, been in the business for 7 years, have 2.95 thousand subscribers, and can't get past 100 views. Even being live yesterday, did you know the minute when that video was done, that they went right into the fact that said, hey, you know, that little piece you put in there about the little white boy and little black boy, white boy and black boy, remember Leroy and Adam, right? Hey, you was ready to shut me down yesterday. Can you believe that? Huh? If you don't believe this is the most hated show on the black corner of the internet, I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, let me go ahead and get into this anyway, because again, I can't understand why I can't see that this is on, but I hear it's live. So somebody playing games as they usually do. It's all good, right? Is the chat room even working? Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Successfully connected. All right, so if anybody should happen to be in the chat, because I can't even see who's in here, right? I can't even see who's in here. So somebody like to just go ahead and just put a one or something up there just to let me know that you can hear me and everything is clear. Okay? Before I even get into it, because again, there's some hocus pocus going on right here. So anyway, let me go ahead and try to get it in anyway, because that's what we got to do, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you over to Tallahassee, Florida. I want you to check this out right quick, and I should be right back after this. Check this out, y'all.
Police in Tallahassee are investigating a workplace stabbing that left 6 employees injured. It happened this morning at Dyke Industries, which is a wholesale building material supplier. A suspect has been taken into custody, but it's unclear if the person is an employee.
Baby, I've been stabbed 5 times. Suspect name in massive Tallahassee, Florida stabbing. You know I'm going to say that again. Baby, I've been stabbed 5 times. Suspect name in massive Tallahassee, Florida stabbing. This story is coming out of the USA Today. September 11th, 2019, and this is how it reads. Tallahassee, Florida. A man went on a rampage Wednesday morning, stabbing people at a West Side business, in some cases multiple times. The suspect was identified as Antoine Brown, an employee at Dyke Industries, a building material company in an industrial park. Brown was involved in a dispute in an office before the stabbing, in which police said a pocket knife-style weapon was used. Police were called around 8:35 a.m. When officers arrived, they began treating victims on the scene, said Officer Damon Miller, a spokesman for the Tallahassee Police Department. It was not immediately clear whether anyone was killed. 5 people were taken to Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare for treatment. Interim Police Chief Steve Outlaw said at a news conference, "You can't help but wonder whether the anniversary of September 11th terrorist attack was a factor in the attack." But police found no evidence of any connections. He said police had not determined a motive for the spontaneous attack. He said co-workers fought off the knife-wielding attacker with objects in the office. Chief Outlaw noted Brown had run-ins with law enforcement years ago. A Florida Department of Corrections officer website shows the 41-year-old spent time in prison for drug dealing and grand theft in cases going back to 1996. He was released from prison in July of 2009. Frantic family members gathered behind police tape and shared stories of the horror that unfolded inside the business. Marquita Campbell's husband, Bobby Riggins Jr., arrived for a job interview at Dyke's Industry at around 8:30 a.m. She said she was on the phone with him when she heard a commotion. "The next thing I know," he said, "Baby, I've been stabbed 5 times," Campbell said as she waited for answers. Her husband later called her from the hospital and told her he had internal bleeding and was going into surgery. Danielle Buchan, a spokeswoman for Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, said 1 patient is in serious condition, 2 patients are in fair conditions, and 2 patients are in good condition. Ellen Mospin said her husband, Dennis McMaster, escaped without injury. He texted her to say there had been a massive stabbing at the business. "Come get me," he said. Before the stabbing, city officials were grappling with a rash of shootings over the weekend that left 2 dead and 1 injured. Dyke Industries, based in Little Rock, Arkansas, has 15 distribution outlets in 18 states and provides residential and commercial building materials, including interior and exterior doors, according to the company's website. All right, I want to apologize for that due to the simple fact that kind of had some technical difficulties from the minute I got in here, which didn't make sense to me at all. But again, when you're the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube, this is what people will do to keep your voice from being heard, right? So what we see here is we see a brother, name is Antoine Brown, right? 41 years old. I worked at a company called Dyke Industry, right? And if you notice what you heard, because again, you're probably wondering, well, where's the video? Well, you know, if I do videos, right, you know they just itching to get me off, right? You know that, right? So again, if you don't want to hear reading of stories and maybe hear inserts of some of the reports, until I can figure out a way, and that's the only way we're going to be able to do it for this time being, because you know they don't want me. Remember, I went back to back being banned, right? This How many was we in the ninth month? I've been 6 months banned. Think about that from live. 6 months in a year. And neither one of them no really justification. But anyway, let's get into this. So we see that this brother who worked at Dyke Industry. But did you notice that what was being read and the insert that you heard, they act like this brother didn't work for the company. Did you notice that at all? It's like he didn't work for them. Like he was some random black man who just came up off the street and just started to go in and he's just going to do this work. Just randomly, right? Just out of the blue, he just did this, right? So obviously, with your, like Spider-Man got spider senses, with your black spider senses, or with your Negro melanin senses, there was something else going on there. Again, we not condoning violence, right? But again, only one knows all the truth about this situation is Antoine Brown and those as I go along and tell you what all took place, right? Now, again, this place that he worked is a place that deal with wood, steel, fiberglass. They do exterior, interior stuff for homes, right? And so I did a little research and it came to find out that it said that his pastor had got a phone call prior to him going to work that day. Again, see, they ain't not going to disclose and say he worked for them, but I'm going to tell you, he worked for them. He called pastor up because, again, you being BADOS, ADOS, right? And those who are not, maybe you're on the outside of it and you say, what are you trying to know? Well, just, we as black men particularly, when we work at places, we can't be too boisterous. We can't be too black. We can't be, you understand? So we've always got to be some way in a compromising position, and one who may still feel like you've had that, he's going to, put his authority to you. And so, you're belittling. So again, just don't wait to maintain your job. So we as black men know we put up with a lot of BS on these jobs, right? Unbeknownst to many of you and others who may not be the ones who are the culprit that do it, but that is something that we understand and we know. So here it was that I'll go back to the part with the pastor, because again, what it was is, again, you've been around, you done seen many suns and many moons. When you done been on the job, when you just kind of got that sense that, what I'm saying? You about to go through this. Now, some of you might be better than others. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Some of y'all better than others, right? And so some of you may not have gone through the revolving door as many, but those who know what I'm talking about, been through that revolving door, you get that spider sense tingling. Man, he about to pull that move on me, man. You know what I'm saying? Nigga just bought this new car, got car note, baby on the way, woo, 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 right? And so he was getting the vibe and the feeling, and maybe some bird or little kite came to him and told him, man, because again, I found in some of the articles talking about they were contemplating, well, they going to fire the brother now. Now, does it make sense now that why our brother just went in there and started doing what he was doing? Because again, somebody about to terminate you. Now, again, what I'm not sitting here trying to condone or advocate is violence, because when you're getting fired, because again, as black men, we know we work at places, and a lot of times you're not getting fired about your work. It's a lot of time it's personal, right? You got somebody there, again, trying to submit you, break you, capitulate you to their authority. Again, a job is just what we do. You have a title, they pay you for your title. As long as I'm doing the job, all this personal stuff don't need to be there. But it be there. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to say, the reason why I'm setting this up is because what we're going to see, what took place, then we have to understand that, there was some stuff going on there. Because again, until I see who they are, I have to be under the assumption who I'm assuming they might be, then I'm going to say this probably was the element there, right? And so we have a brother that go in there, and word is in the air that he about to be they contemplating to get rid of him. So that particular day, he knew maybe the axe was going to come down. So he was making him peace with himself, right? Called up pastor, hey pastor, pray for me and forgive me. That's all he told the pastor. Pray for me, forgive me, right? Go to work. Now the pastor was like, well, what are he talking about? He didn't know. So, you know what I'm saying? He don't know to make the move to say, hey, man, hey, my man come up there. He told me that he said something. He don't know. This is after the fact now that they know, right? So he go there and they said, according to the manager. Now, again, the kickstand to me is they said we were contemplating it. No, I think you were doing it. I think you're saying that now because you don't want it to be that the reason why he did what he did is due to the fact that you were firing him. And he was reacting to it because, again, sometimes, like I say, it don't never be about your work. It be about other people and they got their illness and sickness about them and you being who you is and they being who they is. And, you know what I'm saying? And knowing that dealing with your livelihood and being able to, you know, put you in a bind and then sit back laughing about it again. We in dire times straits, especially we as black folks, right? That's why you're seeing here people talking about reparations and all that other good stuff because, again, we understand through generational wealth gap and how, let's say, white folks have this amount of money versus black people having this none, really no money. Now, again, they may dangle a couple carrots in front of the horse and say, look, they got money. They got money. But we know most of us, again, they say one paycheck away from being homeless. Basically, all you gotta do is come into job and be terminated, and you already sign up for that progress or for the progression of that, right? And so we don't know what my man was going through. We don't know what he was dealing with. Again, economically, being in this country, and again, that's not one of the taboo. Everybody says, "Oh, you're always crying." Hey, man, this is real, man. We live this, right? So somehow he goes try to confront management. Right, goes up in there and says, hey, woo, hey, you won't fire me? You know what I'm saying? So people were eyewitnessing according to what they said. They said people was watching. And they just seeing him going to work. But they said, I couldn't tell what he was doing, but I know he was doing something. Now, people was observing him. But according to the stories that you heard, it said he had something like a pocket knife. Right? Now, you know, normally when they talk about knives, again, they always give it to the Hispanics. Say, you know, a Hispanic brother with that knife, you know what I'm saying, the butterfly knife, you know, and they slice you up, right? But bruh went in and did some business in here, right? And it said that when he started going to work, they got a call about 8:33, a 911 call. And they said they need to get down to 2000 block Maryland Circle quick. Man, in here going berserk, he in here stabbing up folks, right? And so when the smoke clear, once the police officers get there, they see that, you know, they see blood, they see people, they attending in them and all this other stuff. So now when they relay, this is what the damage that he had done, right? They said, well, victim one, they said he stabbed him 3 times in the chest and 1 in the stomach. Now, you know, when somebody using a knife, that's personal, right? Personal, getting up close with you. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Gun is distance and knife is up and close and personal with somebody, right? So this first cat that whoever that was, he got stabbed 3 times in the chest and 1 in the stomach. So we're not sure because, again, we didn't hear anything about illegal with the knife. So we had to say that it was one of those legal carrying knives. And so the victim number 2, they say that was stabbed in the neck and stabbed 3 times on the side of his abdomen and once in the clavicle. That's victim 2. Victim 3 got him shoulder and the forearms. Victim 4 says got him 4 times in the area around the hip and the stomach. And the 5th one, he stabbed up twice in his back, 1 in his chest, 1 in the neck, and 1 in the cheek. When you get through tore them up, what you get there, huh? He was doing some damage, huh? 3-1 on the first is 4. Neck, 3 in the side, that's 4. 4 and 4 is 8. Shoulder and forearm, that's 10. Twice in the back, that's 12. Chest, 13. Neck, 14. Cheek, 15. 4 times, 19, 20 times. Bro went in there and was doing massive stabbing to people who they won't even recognize and say that he was an employee there. So it was something else going on up in there. Now, again, when they said, when all this ended, they said that they're going to charge him with, now listen to this, 5 charges of attempt first-degree murder. Huh? So do you think that, what my assumption is that I'm maybe not right? Because I don't know, I don't see too many, situations. And again, like I said, it's not about condoning violence. It's about, this is just the story. And again, we hypotheticalize situation, again, make it more real, right? So we can all relate to it, right? But we know, you don't be seeing brothers getting no 5 killing another brother, right? You can't get no 5 first degrees. So I have to be under the assumption that these must be white folks that he was stabbing up. They gonna make sure he never get out. Because they said 5 first degree murders and 1 charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I'm saying this Thursday, he will be before the court. Now again, that is that situation right there. So again, like I said, we don't condone it, but we kind of understand that, you know what I'm saying? When you in a position that, your livelihood and everybody who depends on you is on your job. And let's say you're not getting terminated because of your work. Because, sometimes people think that people done worked at a place for years and then somehow you're being terminated as if you don't know your job. But, a lot of places, some of these states have at will. At will means they don't have to have a reason, but a lot of times they give you some flimsy nonsense. Right? They don't fire you anyway, right? But they got at will. So they don't really have to have a reason, but again, they got to say something otherwise, because again, when you go start finding your EEOC and all this other stuff, they gotta have something, either they, made it up or something, or you became belligerent and all, a whole bunch of stuff. But the point is the individual, again, he's the only one, and the people who dealing with know the real truth of the situation. And so for somebody to go that extent means there was some things he was dealing with that, the slutto, clandestine, little connotative stuff that people do. Again, you absorb, black is, let's say, black absorbs the energy, right? That's what black do. You put on black, you be burned up when it's hot outside. All that sun is absorbing in that black. Well, that's what we do when we in some of these places, right? We observe a lot of the BS that people give us. And then, again, there's a point where one will get to festivity and then be like, enough's enough. Now, it goes both ways. It's not just a black thing or a white thing. It'd be okay, just a people thing. People will do that because, again, the pressures of living. And again, when you're white, it's kind of like saying, well, you're white. Well, you have more opportunities to do things that you see that we look at it if, no, I ain't going to say that, but you know what I mean, right? So anyway. So that brother did that, what he did. I guess that will come out more on his side because that is what they're writing, and that's just one particular story, right? So let me go ahead and let me get to the next one, and we should be right back after this. Let me do this.
I implore you to ask Ms. Coulter to step down immediately and replace her.
A city councilwoman calling for the resignation of the acting police commissioner. Good evening, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
And I'm Jessica Cartalia. The sparks flew today during a hearing concerning the offensive social media posts made by Philadelphia officers. Eyewitness News reporter Matt Petrillo is live from City Hall with the headlines from today's hearing. Matt?
Well, those social media posts were not the only controversies here at City Hall today. That council member calling for the acting police commissioner to step down, all because of a single photo from more than 20 years ago.
I implore you to ask Ms. Coulter to step down immediately and replace her.
That's the surprise statement made today by Philadelphia Councilmember Cindy Bass after she brought up a 1994 photo that recently surfaced. It shows Philly's acting police commissioner, Christine Coulter, wearing a t-shirt that reads, LAPD, we treat you like a king. Some believe it makes light of the cop beating of Rodney King, a construction worker who later became an activist.
It is inconceivable that she was unaware that the t-shirt referenced the widely publicized brutal beating of a citizen.
Coulter immediately apologized for wearing the shirt.
Never made that in my mind that it was a Rodney King shirt. When framed in that reference, absolutely you can see that.
Coulter also announced today several internal changes following the discovery of racist, anti-Muslim, and even violent social media posts made by hundreds of officers.
The police department has committed to acquiring the technological resources necessary to actively monitor the social media accounts of active officers.
Today's meeting comes after a watchdog group called the Plainview Project published a report about the controversial post back in June. So far, the Philadelphia Police Department has fired at least 13 officers. Many more are on desk duty, and today we learned 9 officers have resigned. That upsets some council members.
Never hold them accountable?
Well, Councilwoman, the reason that I believe they all resigned was because of the investigation that was done.
And despite today's call for Philadelphia's acting police commissioner to step down, in the past she has said she wants to permanently become Philadelphia's next top cop. Reporting live outside of Philly City Hall, Matt Petrillo, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Matt.
Philadelphia's acting police commissioner apologizes for having worn a controversial LAPD shirt. You know I'm going to say that again. Philadelphia acting police commissioner apologized for having worn a controversial LAPD shirt. This story is coming out of CNN, September 11, 2019, and this is how it reads. Philadelphia acting police commissioner apologized this week for having worn a LAPD t-shirt that many perceive to be a reference to the Los Angeles police beating of Rodney King, the Philadelphia Inquirer reported. The shirt Christine M. Coulter wore in the 1990s read, LAPD, we treat you like a king. In her apology, Coulter said she didn't recognize at the time that the shirt could have been perceived as a reference to King. She has previously said she had never even thought of it as anything other than an LAPD shirt, the news outlet reported. King was beaten by LAPD officer in March of 1991 after leading police on a high-speed chase through the Los Angeles County. A recording of the beating showed King being struck by police batons more than 50 times. He suffered 11 fractures and other injuries. The acquittal of 4 white LAPD officers involved sparked violent riots across Los Angeles that left more than 50 people dead and more than 2,000 injured. The beating, riots, and aftermath forever changed the city, its police department, and the race dialogue in America. In 2012, King was found dead in a swimming pool. On Tuesday, Coulter called wearing the t-shirt a careless decision. I am profoundly sorry that anything I would have done could have caused such hurt, she said. Coulter's apologies come shortly after the Inquirer reports last week that she had been photographed wearing the shirt as a young police officer. During the Tuesday's meeting, during which Coulter made her remarks, Philadelphia City Councilwoman Cindy Bass said she had written to Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney calling on the acting commissioner to step down immediately. The Inquirer reported, "It is inconceivable that she was unaware of the T-shirt's apparent reference to the beating," Bass said. Last week, Kenney's spokesperson said the mayor understood that the shirt could be interpreted as a reference to King, but believed Coulter's recollection of her perception was truthful, the Inquirer said. All right, so we back, right? So we see that, I guess I can give you the image while I'm talking about that, right? I'm going to give you the image of that, the commissioner there, right? Go ahead and show you that, right? So we see that, said Philadelphia Acting Police Commissioner apologizing for having worn a controversial LAPD shirt. Now, what you see in that picture there, is a picture that she had, accordingly, they said 20 years ago. And on that shirt, it says LAPD, we treat you like kings. I'm going to say that again. LAPD, the shirt is referenced, and the caption underneath of them, LAPD, says, we treat you like kings. So, again, we as BADOS or ADOS of this land, we understand connotative language. Again, we learn from that which the game was brought to us, right? You know, when we talk about race and when people try to do the reverse racism and say that, well, black people are racism, well, we learned the game from you, right? We've been under your tutelage and under your institutions of what you call, right? What you call learning, right? So we learn from the best in this game. So sometimes, you know, you're not familiar or recognized, but sometimes you got a sense, hey, wait a minute, why would the LAPD have a reference to talking about treat you like kings? What do you mean, treat you like kings? Because again, let's just say historically, when we look at we as black folks, historically, police and black people have a history to go back to the origin of the establishment of when they was patty roll, right? Come catch a slave and all that, right? So we would never look at the reference that treat you like kings. So what reference you talking about? Oh, it was in the 90s too. We talking about Rodney King? That's what you're talking about. Oh, okay. Some of us, you've been around a little bit. Remember Rodney Glenn King, you know, that he was found dead in his pool June 17, 2012, right? And that just kind of went under the rug. Everybody, Rodney King was dead. That guy's money. You know, again, but when you think about social media, when you think about social media and how everybody today take them cameras out and videotaping all this, those who are around old enough to remember, maybe just not being born, but, you know, having cognizance and understanding, that was the first time that we seen, that was the first viral. Think about it, that was the kind of first viral video before social media, right? And we all got to watch that. And we were appalled by that. And yet, what we saw when they went through the judicial system, they told us what your lying eyes seen is not what took place. So we seen a man, it was like March 3rd, 1991. Somewhere they said California State Route 210. And the person who ended up filming it name was George Holliday. And he was on this balcony. And then he gave it to KTLA at that time. And it was the media that ended up being, again, you know, a lot of people like to say we the greatest, you know, country in the world. So we always trying to make this grandiose statement. Well, the whole world was, no, everybody got their own business, man. Only in this country. You understand? You got to try to, like, other people ain't got their own stuff. Like right now, like, you know, you got somebody over there getting bombed up, right? But everybody in this country don't know that, right? So it's like, okay, everybody in the world know, but you don't be knowing, right? So anyway, so everybody seen that. Grown man getting whooped up by all these cops Over 50 times they counted, right? And saying that the man was under the influence. A lot of people making reference to jokes. Oh, he was riding in a Hyundai. All this stuff, right? And you heard in the story where they say, well, he was a construction worker who turned into an activist. Well, he was put under a spotlight that just basically, how else was he not going to be? Because again, he was the man that took that whooping. You understand? It's kind of like watching Roots and seeing Kunta Kinte getting whooped. And then everybody who was sitting there observing it, like, how you feeling, Kunta Kinte? Because if you ready to ride, we ready to ride with you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to took all that now. If you want to be everything good, you know what I'm saying? Then he came with the little cash and when we just get along, right? You get what I'm saying? That's what the only thing he can say. Because again, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the catalyst for certain things. I mean, he couldn't care that. But anyway, we don't know mysteriously what happened to him. But we're just going to say that whooping that took place, again, everybody, especially we, BADOS, ADOS, we watched that. And everybody was tuned in to the whole trial. And when that verdict came out, not guilty, that's where you had the LA riots, right? And that dude in that truck was named Reginald Denny, like bust his to the white meat, get out that truck. They say it was 63 people killed. 2,373 people were injured. Right? And all that is because why? Not rendering the justice. Matter of fact, that whole situation came back. Now, again, those who are avid watchers of this show, you remember when I did the story about Black Rambo. Remember that? Christopher Dorner. Remember him? Remember that brother that was on that police force that they had turned together, had to blow him up? Supposedly never seen a body now, but that's what they told us. Right? Remember what he was talking about, because he was going through his ordeal about racism. And so whatever happened was he talked about them same individuals that was, you see on that tape, whooping him. Guess what they got promoted to? They were now commissioners and captains and all that, right? So he kind of was exposing a lot of that. And then he got to the point where he was trying to, do some things. And then again, he a one-man army, even though he was an expert what he was at. But again, kind of like that movie with Steven Seagal when he went in that brig and one man was fighting all of them. They said, you talking about one man? It was like, yeah, just one man doing all this detriment. Got the whole department shook, right? But anyway, based on what had took place with the Rodney King beating, we treat you like king. The only reference that could make that too is Rodney King. And here you was, yes, I know that the reporter had said, well, you know what? That happened 20 years ago. They got one picture of one shirt, and now they want to hold her accountable. But see, the point is, just because you get caught with the shirt when you wore it, right? Does that change the mindset that what you wore from 20 years ago that you are today in 2019? Are you still the same person? Just because you're not wearing the shirt no more. Do I need to say that again? Just because you don't wear the shirt, does that mean that the person who wore the shirt, and of course you're going to say the politically correct thing is to say what? Oh, I didn't know. But it makes sense when you black people are saying that Reverend King. Oh, I never. Yeah. What? Why don't they tell us what they meant then? Tell us what it meant then, right? Now I get somebody say, "Hey man, that's petty, man. It's just a damn T-shirt." But they say it's the little things, right? In relationships, right? It's the little things that mean so much. And so what you see is a community got together. Matter of fact, she just got on that position about 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks later, somebody, dug up and threw up that picture. Who knows? Somebody inside, maybe, police officer, Blackman. Hey, man, just woo-woo, right? So it got to the public. They pushing trying to hold the council people to the feet to the fire these days, right? And that's what done piss a lot of people off, because what? We are trying to play the political game, and everybody don't want us to play the political game because they want you to be what we want you to be. Just go along, get along, and don't try to do nothing, right? So we see that they held her feet to the fire, and you heard in the video, her name was, I think it's Sandy Bass, I think her name is, right? So she's saying that she needs to, step down. And so we see that Christine Coulter is her name. She's apologizing for the shirt. And again, she says, that they're going to repair mode. Well, because again, if you've been watching this show, remember we did the story about with Philadelphia, and then they was finding out on social media that a lot of the cops were saying a lot of things that, again, okay, you might hold that in your mind or position, right? That's how you feel. But once you make it known like that, and again, you're supposed to be a civil servant, an officer, one who's sworn to up and hold, and all this other good sounding stuff, right? And then you out here, and then you talking about, we're riding around in the jungle, and I'm gonna beat some heads in the night, right? Okay, so you fired up to go to work. We get that. You loved your job, but you're saying some things that reference to that. Again, historically. Just it is what it is, right? It just is what it is. And so we're seeing that was that Plainview project that did that whole investigation, and it come to find out was hundreds of officers in that department. So what happened is they said that only maybe about 9 resigned, 13 was fired out of hundreds now, and the majority of them on desk duty. So again, did you really get rid of the problem, right? Think about that. You got to ask yourself, did you get rid of the problem, or are we just trying to quell it down and then slowly seep you back in there, and it doesn't resolve the issue? No, it doesn't. So the community is saying, wait a minute, okay, if the head is like that and most of the body is like that, then let's, say, cut the head and the body will follow, right? And that's what they're trying to do. And so, a lot of people are going to be like, well, that's old. It's 20 years ago. But does that mean, okay, let's just say, if we want to say 1619 is the beginning of you saying a beginning of the 13 colonies enslavement, because we were here longer than 1619. But we're going to say from 1619, how much has changed from 1619 to 2019 to say that was 400 years ago? That was 400 years ago. You can say change, you can throw out, well, it's got civil rights, you can vote. We integrated the school, but yeah, we moved the hell away from you guys. But you got Oprah, you got Jordan, LeBron is coming up. You got right. So you would throw that at us, right? There ain't too much change because that's from our position. See, nobody want to hear our position, right? Everybody want to tell you your position and tell you your side too. They don't want to hear yours. It's like kind of like you ever watch the news and then they do a live report, they go to somebody when they do talking about something serious. They never go to no black person and ask them nothing serious. And what they going to use talking about, how's the weather today? And do you think the team is going to win today? And right? They don't ask you nothing about no shit because they don't care about what you talking about or what you thinking. And so that's what we see here. So they trying to get her to get up out of there, right? And they say, hey, we need you to resign because, again, to act as if you didn't know that was reference to that just goes to show, again, they're not going to admit, they're going to deny all that. And that's just how it goes. What's good, my brother Leonard the Yuta? Yo, what's up to you as well? So that's what's happening over there in Philadelphia with that LAPD shirt. All right, so let me go ahead and let me give it to this next part here. I'm going to click up over here. And I got this one here. Now, this story I'm going to do for you here. If you eat chicken, again, I got to do that anyway, right? You eat chicken, you about to change the way you look at that, right? You're just going to have to, because again, people trying to preserve oneself, and so you got to be, again, they said, you are what you eat. So let me show you this and be right back.
small amounts of it during processing to kill pathogens. Well, now some people are turning to an alternative method. CBS 2's Elise Finch has this story.
When it comes to chicken, Michelle Guidi prefers hormone-free, antibiotic-free, organically raised birds.
I'm feeding my children and my husband. This is my family, so I want to feed them the healthiest options out there.
But did she check chlorine-free?
No, I didn't.
Most U.S. poultry plants plunge freshly slaughtered birds into chilling baths.
We need to get that temperature down right away.
These baths often contain antimicrobial chemicals that can include chlorine.
Heavily diluted in water in order to kill pathogens that might be present, like salmonella.
A tiny amount gets absorbed into the meat.
Yes, I use bleach to clean my whites. My children swim in chlorine. But ingesting it and eating it, I feel a little bit apprehensive.
U.S. government regulators say this use of chlorine is safe and effective in poultry processing, explaining that in studies, once the chlorine hits the bird, it breaks down into safe byproducts. But most European officials disagree. This French political ad shows American chickens bathing in swimming pool water. The fear that chlorine causes cancer.
They operate on what's called the precautionary principle. Since there is controversy about using chlorine and other chemicals in poultry processing, they have decided to keep our poultry out
of countries in the European Union for nearly 2 decades, costing U.S. poultry farmers hundreds of millions of dollars each year.
Unfortunately, this is a matter that political science has trumped sound science.
Now people are gravitating toward a different approach, the one used in Europe and at a few American plants, where freshly slaughtered birds are blasted with very cold air for several hours to lower the body temperature and kill harmful pathogens.
I would be willing to pay more money for it.
This air-chilled chicken costs about $2 more per pound, but fans of the approach say it's worth it. Elise Finch, CBS 2 News.
Well, the USDA insists that antimicrobial agents like chlorine used by the poultry industry have been deemed safe and suitable by the Food and Drug Administration.
UK worries BREXIT could bring chlorinated chicken from United States. You know I'm going to say that again. UK worries BREXIT could bring chlorinated chicken from the United States. Stories coming out of Yahoo Lifestyle. Under the caption of the picture says, in this Thursday's August 8, 2019 file photo, chickens are shipped from processing in Morton, Mississippi. The use of antimicrobial washes and sprays is widespread in the United States. Chicken industry, with companies applying them to kill germs at various stages in the production process. The practice highlights concerns. And this is how the article reads. Could BREXIT bring America's chlorinated chicken to the United Kingdom? The European Union has long refused to import poultry from the United States that is routinely rinsed with chemicals washed to kill germs. But the United Kingdom plans exit from the EU is putting the practice back in the spotlight, with Prime Minister Boris Johnson even taunting Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn by calling him a chlorinated chicken. The term has come to sum up concerns that Britain could be pressured to accept looser food safety standards when negotiating its own post-Brexit trade deals. Unlike in the EU, the use of antimicrobial sprays and washes is widespread in the United States chicken industry. Companies apply them to kill germs at various stages during processing, such as when carcasses are defeathered, gutted, or any other point when feces could splatter and spread germs like salmonella. The chemicals used in rinses have to be approved by the United States Department of Agriculture, and their use is limited to specified amounts. The agency says the rinses are presented in finished products at an insignificant level. The United States chicken industry says that the use of chlorine has declined to about 10% of the country's plants as other chemicals have become more common. It says the rinses help improve food safety. But that is difficult to completely rid raw chicken of salmonella and Campylobacter germs, which don't sicken birds and are commonly found in their guts. Campylobacter isn't widely known in the U.S., but is a major cause of food poisoning. Critics of food safety regulation in the United States say the use of antimicrobial washes and sprays underscores how widespread the bacteria are in raw chicken, especially considering the persistence of food poisoning outbreaks. Tony Corbo of Food and Water Watch, a group that has called for the stricter meat regulations, said the rinses could be used to mask broader sanitary problems during production. Though it's legal to sell raw chicken with salmonella and Campylobacter in supermarkets, the USDA tries to control germs with standards on how much can be in the raw chicken tested at processing plants. The salmonella standard is around 10% for whole bird carcasses and about 15% for raw chicken parts, which have a higher chance of being exposed to feces during chopping. It's why health officials stress the need for self-handling of raw poultry, such as thoroughly cooking the meat to kill potential germs. They also warn people should not rinse raw chicken, which can spread bacteria everywhere. In a statement, the UK Food Standard Agency said chlorine washes can be used on fresh produce like salad, but not on meat or animal products. It notes only water can be used to remove surface contamination from poultry carcasses in EU countries. Those rules will stay in place after the UK leaves the EU, the agency said, and any potential change would involve a rigorous risk assessment. Timothy Litton, a professor of law who researches food safety at Georgia State University, noted antimicrobial washes are used for other foods in the United States, including produce. And he said their use with raw chicken might be because of the massive scale of the country's poultry production, which might make approaches used in other parts of the world impractical. Still, Litton says worries in the United Kingdom and Europe about chlorinated chicken underscores larger anxieties about the ongoing industrializations of food supply. People are anxious about the fact that industries is making their food, he said. The Associated Press Health and Service Department received support from the Howard Hughes Medical Institute Department of Science and Education. The AP is solely responsible for all content. All right, so we back. All right, after this one, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to stop eating chicken, right? Chlorinated chicken, right? That's how you clean the chicken, right? They talking about some antimicrobial spray, right? So you're just putting sugar on shit, right? You're putting sugar on shit, right? So basically, as much chicken as there's almost basically I always just think it had to be a damn Planet of Chicken somewhere, because everywhere you go they serve chicken, right? So how do you keep producing so many damn chickens? So that means chicken is stacked on top of chicken. So that means that the place that they live in got to be some of the most. You're talking about black folks living in the ghettos, right? Look where the chicken live at, right? So they saying that this chlorine washing that is used to kill bacteria. But as you heard, that a lot of times when you hear that salmonella, that's really coming from the gut of the chicken and the stuff. And again, when they're chopping, it's always just dirty feces. So chicken got to be one of the worst meats you could be eating, right? And so I was just thinking about when everybody was out there eating that, standing in line for that Popeye sandwich, huh? What's in the chicken? You know, remember, what was that, Undercover Brother? Remember the whole thing about with the KFC? They got the Dave Chappelle that was in the chicken, right? How they gonna spread this secret sauce is gonna be in the chicken, right? So the same thing here in the chicken. What is probably the most, eaten, because it's, economical for a lot of people who don't got a lot of money. So they're going to buy that chicken. And you see people that go in and they wash the chicken and so forth. They say washing the chicken is not good at all. Because if you wash the chicken, you're spreading the bacteria everywhere. I was like, wait a minute, what? People been doing that stuff for years and generations, right? And wondering again, I guess we done built such an immune in our system to the fact that even with all this chemical, been saying that chlorine causes cancer. And a woman that you didn't get to see, but you got to hear, was talking about, well, my kids, I swim in the pool with chlorine, and I wash my clothes with white to make Clorox, right? It's chlorine, and now I'm eating it, right? And then what you don't know won't kill you, right? So that's why a lot of people just say, you don't know and you don't want to know, right? You don't know and you don't really want to know. It's kind of like looking at the box and you eating something that you like and you enjoy. But if you start understanding them chemicals on the back of that pack, and once you can figure that really out, then you're like, well, what am I really eating? So the same thing with this chicken here, right? This chicken here got antimicrobial sprays that has to be sanctioned by the government, and washing the chicken is only going to some of the exterior, not the inside. So just imagine some people who, when you first learn how to cook chicken, when you first learn how to do it, you don't cook it, it'd be still raw. So how people that ate a lot of that raw chicken? Yeah. I won't get too deep in there because they're going to talk about you can spread this stuff on like salad dressing. That's not doing anything. You're still eating this. And we don't even want to, we really, again, think about it. To give long shelf life on a lot of the foods that you go in the store to purchase, like, again, meat ain't really red, right? Think about that. The meat that you go in the store and you go into wherever, your supermarket is or wherever you reside at, and they go in and make the meat look fresh because it says red. But that's some kind of dye, right? That they insert to give it that color, because really meat is brown. And when you start seeing meat brown, you say, oh, it's getting bad. And the meat, actually, when you purchase the stuff, it don't take long because it's going to spoil. So it's like, I see why they're trying to get everybody off of meats. And matter of fact, I haven't done that story, but they got that new food, right? This Franken food that they got that ain't meat, like meat, right? Probably been eating and you don't even know it already, right? By the time you start hearing about it, you've already pushed it up on you, right? So just one of them things, man. Again, it's wild, right? It's just, Europe don't want it, right? Europe don't want. They say, hell no, we ain't. What you put that chicken? We don't want that. We don't want none of that. Now see, white folks will be like, like the saying is with black folks is, black folks, those who don't in their right mind, trying to imitate and do everything what you do, right? Well, in this case, they be saying, well, everybody trying to do what America do. Well, he went over there and said, well, why don't you try some of this chlorinated chicken? We don't give you some of this. You don't get that. Nah, you don't get that infested. You know what I'm talking about? Rat infested, rodent infested. Well, that's how they looking at that chicken. Like, look what you painting it with. It's just purely toxic. No matter how you doing that is that even consumption? Is that human consumptible, right? Consumption, right? Consumptible, right? Is there human consumptible of that? We don't want that. Now, again, we see how you got your problems with your Negroes. We know that the stereotype is Negroes love chicken, like white folks don't eat chicken and watermelon. But you know they're a stereotype. Yeah, niggas, you like chicken. You like chicken? Give them $50 a bucket of chicken, right? Like white folks don't eat chicken, right? But, we eat a lot of chicken because chicken, again, is inexpensive. Some people go in the neighborhood, you got all kind of fried chicken spots. And I guess that's why they deep fry it, They ain't washing it. They seasoning it and putting it and throwing it in the oil. Hopefully they're just killing it. And we eating that shit on the daily. In the store, you can't go and you can't get you some chicken. So now, for those who end up like coming and seeing this, you might be a little apprehensive now about getting you some chicken, because you're like, what? I'm getting my babies this? I'm eating it. You know, sometimes you get a little baby about 2.5, 3, put that little drumstick in there. They say, I think the Bible said, the devil won't even give his own child a rattlesnake too. You do it too. The devil doing it, you doing it too, right? So that's just how it goes, right? So you follow the leader, because again, they done got you programmed to think that when this people here said that this is good for consumption, it's been stamped and approved. USADA said it's good, so I can eat it. Not knowing that, money can exchange hand and right can become wrong for the right price. Casualties of war, right? We need to depopulate anyway, so lay down the line. Just like the brother that was doing the story I did about the brother that was doing the weed killer. Slipped my mind right now. And he was working for the school, right? Now he was a janitor at the school. Roundup, that's it. He was doing the roundup at the school, right? Now he working as a janitor at the school, spraying the yards where the kids gonna play. Somehow the drum fell on him, got on him, soaked itself. Now again, you gotta remember the skin is the biggest organ, right? So it's gonna absorb everything that's in. So again, it's just like taking a bath. We won't drink the damn tap water. We go buy water, but we'll damn bathe in it, right? I'll say that again. We won't drink out the damn tap water, but we'll go bathe in the shit as if like drinking it is less than putting the shit and soaking in your damn body. But anyway, so he do the roundup. So tried to go and take him a wash up, and did the story, right? Toe up. Now again, they was using this to kill weeds that was growing produce with, but that's, see what I'm saying? So it's like you don't know and you don't really want to know. Because if you really knew how they do a lot of this shit, you'd be like, oh man, what up with that shit? You crazy? So, for those again, like after I said this, matter of fact, the day that I had got this story, I had just ordered some chicken. You can imagine when I said that, I was like, God damn, I can't wait. I ain't gonna finna read the story. I'm gonna eat this chicken. Then afterward, I was sick. I still got half of it still up in there. Like, man, I ain't gonna eat that damn chicken. You understand? That's how you gonna feel. What? Now that's just one part they tell you. There's some more stuff to it. Because again, it's like, a lot of people say how chickens are just like pigs. They're dirty. They eat anything, right? But again, until it's kind of like when you was a kid in grade school, and they take you to the water reclamation center. And you see all that. And you say, that? We gonna drink that? We gonna drink that? Oh, let me show you how it's gonna look when I get done with it. See, it clean, crisp and clean, no caffeine. Take your drink. You don't want to drink no more because you just done seen the process, right? So just imagine. You see the process now, understand the process. Y'all gonna be a little bit hesitant about eating some chicken these days, ain't you? Gonna be like, oh, I done took chicken off my list. I loved some chicken. I said it, loved it. I said it, right? But now it's kind of like, nah, I gotta let it go. You know what I'm saying? So I guess people are being kind of, let's say we're gonna put you in this aisle here. For those who gonna just stay ignorant and do all this stuff, and you again say ignorance is bliss, you go ahead. And then you start falling off, and then when it becomes generally populated, knowing that this stuff is killing us, then you will stop. But the other people who got a little bit before you, done got off. You done got that, got the chicken out your system where you don't need to eat it now, right? So, again, for what you want to take it for what it is, that is it. Chlorinated chicken. Been in your stomach and eyes. Not after today, or not after 2 days ago. No more. I can't eat that no more. No more of that. So I got one more story. The reason I'm going to do this story here is for the simple fact that, in the black corner of YouTube, you have people who are propagating about, black people, come on, go back to Africa. Right? It's better than, because, we got our issues over here where we're going through racism. I mean, we got 400 years, so it's not like it's nothing new. And I get it and say, well, you anti-African. No, I'm not. I ain't anti-African at all. I'm just saying that I've been here so damn long. I know if I go over there, again, I done heard some terms, and again, I don't want to try to make nothing divisive or anything like that. But I'm just saying that, but then I said, they got problems over there. Everybody trying to make it glitter and glow, gold and glistening. Hey, they got issues. Wait a minute. Let me tell you something. Some women should be out here. I'm offering you I'm going to give you $5,000 with no strings attached. You going to take that from me, ladies? You ain't going to take that money from me, right? You're like, unless you like me like that, you might take, okay, putting a down payment on it, right? So, he didn't put all this money in there, right? And everybody trying to act like, well, we were here to help you. We want you to build up your country for you. We don't want nothing out of it, right? So I looked at that, seen this article that came up, and I was like, there you go. That's what I've been talking about. So let me go ahead and read this to you right quick before we get up out of here. I hope this is the right one. I think this is the right one. I think this should be the right one. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in for those who are here new to the show over here. I just got back in. I've been banned for 6 months out of 9 months of this year. So what I was talking about over here that they don't want nobody here. You better ask yourself. What did he sound about over here? So you better get yourself subscribed and all that good stuff, like, share, and all that good stuff. So let me go ahead and do this and be right back. Check this out. And why Africans are traveling to China. I'm going to say that again. Why Chinese are traveling to Africa and why Africans are traveling to China. This story is coming out of the courts. And this is how it reads. Direct airline flights between Africa and China have jumped over 600% in the past decade. Planes today are not only full of workers and traders seeking prosperity, but also short-term tourists and students seeking leisure and knowledge. Some are in it for the money. China's Go Out policy, implemented in 1999, sent employees of Chinese state-run companies to Africa, as well as investment money. China's official record shows there were around 200,000 Chinese construction workers, engineers, translators, company executives, and the likes in Africa in 2017. The workers typically fly back to China to visit families once or twice a year. Some workers stay after their employment contracts ended with the state company and started their own businesses. Howard French, the author of the book, China's Second Continent, How 1 Million Migrants Are Building a New Empire in Africa, established there could be up to 2 million Chinese workers in Africa. Africans are also going to China to make money. Unlike the Chinese, they are often not supported by their home country. Some are traders and entrepreneurs going to China to make deals and export Chinese goods to their home countries and regions. There are also small business owners and fashion models who face social legal hurdles. The largest African immigrant community in China is in Guangzhou, a manufacturing hub and trading port in southern China. The Chinese authorities counted 200,000 entries to the city by African visitors in 2016. Some are in it for the fun. Business travelers may have initiated the demands for easier air travel between Africa and China, but flights today are increasingly serving leisure-seeking tourists. Chinese travel abroad has tripled in the past decade. The top 5 most frequently visited African countries by Chinese travelers reflect the trend. The most popular countries in Africa for Chinese visitors: Nigeria, Egypt, South Africa, Kenya, Mauritania. Most leisure tourists traveling to Africa come from Shanghai. They spend an average of $1,683 for a week-long trip, according to a special 2018 report, linked in Chinese, from the China Tourism Academy. Top destination cities include Cairo, Port Louis, Mauritania, and Casablanca in Morocco. To attract Chinese tourism, Morocco waived visa requirements in 2016 for Chinese nationals traveling 90 days or less. Chinese tourism to Morocco increased from 43,000 that year to over 107,000 in 2017. Tanzania enacted the same visa policy for Chinese travelers in 2017 and tripled it inbound visitors from China. Angola, Botswana, Ethiopia, South Africa, Rwanda, Zimbabwe all made adjustments to their visa requirements in 2018 to make it easier for Chinese nationals to travel to their countries. According to a report by Migration Policy Institute, just last week, Sierra Leone announced a new visa on arrival policies for a number of countries, including China, making it the 28th African country Chinese tourists can visit without obtaining a visa first. Non-business travelers from China vastly outnumber business travelers in both Kenya and South Africa. Even with the rapid increase of visitors, however, Africa is still not a typical destination for Chinese tourists. Of the 130 million foreign trips Chinese travelers made in 2017, only 0.62% of them ended up in African nations. Some are in it for the education. Africans are traveling to China too. They made up 2.2% of the total visitors to China in 2018, up from 1.8% in 2009. There are more Africans in China today than ever before. China is the second most popular study abroad destination after France for students from African nations. Over 81,000 Africans went to China to study in 2018. Africans are now the largest group of foreign students in China. Beijing is cultivating the next generation of African leaders through education, often sponsoring graduates and postgraduate studies of students from African countries. As Quartz has previously reported, African students head to China for many reasons. Some are seeking an education that is affordable even without assistance, while others go for the chance to develop business connections or learn the language of a country they see as a rising global power. All right, so why Chinese are traveling to Africa and why Africans are traveling to China? Even exchange, right? That's what it sounds like, right? So like 2016, we sent about 200,000 Africans to go over there, and they're going there to be education, and some of them say it's tourism, some of them is just, we want to go there to learn because, again, we recognize that you guys are becoming the world power, right? Now, that's a good allure. Again, that's somebody trying to, cash in why at the bottom. It's like if you could have got some stock in some of these companies when it first come out, like let's say Google, let's say like Amazon and things like that. You trying to get on the ground floor, right? But, again, on Black Minds News over here, we did that when China had released about giving on them billions of dollars to Africa, right? To help them build with really low interest rates, right? And so, according to this article here, it's just saying that, China, as a person wrote the book, said China becoming the second continent. Africa becoming China's second continent. I even was seeing some products at one time where the Chinese were selling the logo of Africa. The outlook of Africa. Everybody know that the out shape of Africa. But they had China on it, right? They had Africa had China on it. I was like, whoa, are they sending a message here, right? Because they had told that one time they were talking about how in Egypt, when they gone ahead sift through all the records, they found that, they want to take away that, they were enslaving them. And then when they helped build, and so they said, we found records that showed that they actually paid them, right? They paid them, so it wasn't really just like they did here in the United States where they just, worked them for nothing and got all the profits. They actually paid them, right? So let's just see if somebody was running game. Right? If they're going to run game on you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give all this money, right? No strings attached, ladies. Go ahead and get that. You had what T.I. said, you could have whatever you like. You could have whatever you like. Huh? You just shopping, whatever you like. You ain't somewhere in the back of your minds, ladies or brothers, if you know what I'm saying, trying to set her up, and then the other vice versa, you ain't thinking somewhere in the back of your mind, they ain't trying to get some. Or he's saying, I'm going to get some, right? Right? So in this case here, he giving all this money, right? And they thinking that let's be friends. Infrastructure. You build that. So what they said in the article, they said, well, in 2017, it was recorded that they had about 200,000 workers. Now, again, look at that even exchange. Now, you may didn't catch it. Remember in 2016, 200,000 Africans went to where? China. And then the next year, 200,000 from China came to Africa, even exchange, right? But they coming in, they got jobs because they're going to do all this infrastructure and all this stuff, right? They building, right? Now, those who they're going over there for education, it's kind of like black folks when we sit here and say, if you're Jewish, you don't let no other people teach your children, right? Everybody else try to make facilities for them to instruct and rear their own. Black folks, based on the simple fact of what we've gone through historically, being deprived out and disenfranchised in, locked out, generational gap. So we have to just kind of get what you give. Now, we get some people in our family, we can get some money and so forth, and we may just go over here and inherit a little bit, this and this, and we may be some of the kundalas and get some of that, right? But the rest of us, right, we just got to get what is given to us. And so now, if somebody has a grandiose idea about how to stealthily program you, as I did yesterday about the little black boy and white boy that did the besties friends, right? Remember I made for those who've seen yesterday's show where it talked about how Leroy being the black boy and Adam the white boy. Yes, that was, a lot of people was feeling, it's lovely to see that. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I would not say there's nothing wrong with it. But what I'm saying is, in this life that we live, Leroy and Adam can go to the same school, but they both being programmed something entirely different. Even though they sit in the same classroom with the same teacher, but the curriculum has a specific agenda. So the fork in the road, they say about a child, they say the cognitive skills of a baby of a black and a white, that the black child's skills is way out more than the white. Motor skills, all that other stuff. And then by the time that black boy getting about that shit before sixth grade, something happened to him. He don't like school no more. Because why? As I was talking about yesterday, Adam see himself. Adam is told everything white. Leroy can't find himself. Leroy lose interest. Right? So because why? Other people are what? Inculcating to you. So if Africans are going to China and they said, those in China, when they come to Africa, they're supported by their people. But those that go from Africa to China, the Africans don't want to mess with you no more. Because what you trying to do now? You're going to go there, learn that stuff, and they programming you, and you're going to try to come back and sell us Chinese goods? Huh? You're going to sell us the Chinese goods now? So what you become an infiltrator? Huh? See, stealthiness, right? Schools, that's what it is. I kind of call it public fooling system, right? Public fooling you, right? Got your program, but again, inside that program and the machinations and the mechanics of how it works, it's all named that to be as good as you think it is, because that's why you see so many black folks who got degrees but can't use it. Now they're talking about forgive my debt. Because you can't do nothing with it. Got all that, but can't do nothing with it. Because why? You've been locked out. Because we try to take care of our family. We didn't promise you. We promised you can get education, but we didn't promise you to get no employment. So they say, hey, we don't like this. So they was an even exchange, 200,000. Let the 200,000 from Africa go there. Then brought 200,000. And they came as what? Workers. They disguised it as workers. We're going to be constructions, bosses, and all that stuff. And, Africans was like, hey, well, how come, some of them getting jobs, not everybody, because it's kind of like when I seen in Jamaica, they were crying. Oh, how down Chinese man that come here, and I can't get a fork in a bomber clad rice job, right? He was snapping, right? Yeah, boy, Chinese will take over everything. That's what he said, right? You take over everything here, huh? Yeah, that's what the name of the game is. It's called Monopoly, the real lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it in such a way that it looks like, yeah, I'm giving you jobs. You're building it for me. But when you can't pay the debt, like playing Monopoly. You can't pay me. Let me get that Virginia, North Carolina. Let me get that Baltic area. Let me start getting some of that property. Stuff that you built that you can't pay me now. Huh? But I guess, you're a hater, Mr. Blowjman. You're a hater. It is what it is. Now, you don't tell me, as I done put 400 years over here, my ancestors, now I'm going to go somewhere to start all over again, because you ain't just got them there. You got a whole bunch of mothers up in there. Huh? I don't know if you've been there, but just say you got mice in your house, termites in your house, roaches in your house, fleas in your house. What else could you have in there? You got all that up in your damn house. You just moved in there. You be like, man, I left was better than this. Wait, when you get some of this, you get control of some of all this shit here, then I come until then, where I was living, I had some roaches, I had some fleas, right? Some things I need to work on, but y'all got a lot going on here. Now I know everybody vibing to get over there because again, the future, everybody say is Africa. Yes, I got all the natural resources. So what makes you think when everybody hungry and you got all the damn food, ain't nobody coming where you live at, huh? Yeah, real talk, right? So I see one other thing that was kind of a little slick in was the fact that they said, well, did you notice that they said how they could get Chinese can come to Africa visa free? You ain't got to apply for nothing. You got 90 days, you come 90 days without a visa. And it said about how many? About 28 countries. Said, come on in, Mr. Chinese. You can have whatever you like. And this ain't no setup. All right, well, here's what it is. I do have the phone line open if nobody wants to call, say some things, kind of diggy thing I want to say, or say not. I said, let's say I got a couple people that Blade Israel Double Edge consumable. Okay, I said consumptionable, right? Hey man, I'm black, man. I can say what I want to say. Bro, what's good though, bro? You good? You're right though. Consumable, right? Right. Well, you know what I'm saying? We make words up, right? If we just start saying consumptionable and make that hip or make that's the word, next thing you know, they're going to put, hey, we got a new word for 2020, consumptionable. Black folks start saying that. Now we're going to start using it. So now when they're on TV, they're going to be saying it too, right? Man, you know what it is. So again, this is the most hated show in the black corner of YouTube. Been suppressed for the last 6 months. There's only been 9 in this year. And 6 of them, they said, you cannot talk, and they keep me suppressed. So again, normally would have videos that you could see, but the minute I do that, like I did yesterday, they was like, it was right. They was up in here. I knew they was up in here. They were like, oh, well, we're going to get him up out of here because we don't like the way he be talking, right? So anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here, because again, the phone line is always open. You can always call in 262-922-8755, right? You want to go ahead and comment on some of the things that I just said. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. We over here. We fam over here. Now, those again who are a little outside that, well, again, you can be part of the conversation, because again, I like some questions I like to ask you anyway. So I want to thank everyone for those again. To the next show, go ahead and get this and do it the way we're supposed to do it, right? All right, so again, want to thank each and every one for your participation. Hopefully that you like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, do what you need to do. Again, when you see one another, see your brother. What's good, brother? What's good, sister? If you can't do that much, at least get a universal nod. You know how we do it, right? You got to understand, right, that you got to take all this jealousy, hate, envy, spite, because you got to understand, we is all we got. Understand the team and the uniform that you wear and the people who are on your team. A lot of people say allies are good, but I say, yeah, they good, but you better ask them 2 questions. One is, when and if shit get hot, are you going to still be in the frying pan with me? Have you ever heard of John Brown? Is that something y'all just told us to make us feel like somebody trying to help, or is that real? Again, some but not all. Some but not, as they say. Some seek for our demise. So it's incumbent that we stay vigilant, mindful, cautious, and high spirit. Again, I'm your host, Mr. Blow Your Mind. Until the next show, peace, love. Until the next show, y'all. 1.